from Dave's Garage 249. How's it going? Are you having a good summer? We've been having an awesome summer. It's been pretty hot, and we've been spending a lot of time cruising, going to car shows. Haven't wanted to work on the cars a lot because A, it's kind of hot, but B, this time of year when you want to play with the stupid things, not just keep working on them. So, but anyways, I want to take this car to US 131 Motorsports Park. This car being the '65 Belvedere. So what this car is it's a 383 904 Trans that all came out of motorhome. This was originally a 318 poly car. It has 323 gear, and I've got 28-inch diameter tires on the back, so it's kind of geared up a little bit. But the goal is we'll get it up to US 131 Motorsports Park and make a couple passes, and that'll be on another video, and then start from there and see what it is. Now here's what I think. I think it's going to run somewhere in the mid-15s at about 90 miles an hour. I think that's pretty much par for the course for these cars back in the day. Like I know for a fact a 289 Mustang stock with a 4-barrel and loud exhaust on it and stuff ran about 1612, 1615, somewhere in there. A 318 Dodge Dart, and you know who I'm talking about, probably ran in the 16s. And I had a 390 Mustang S car, and that ran well tuned. It ran 1515. I remember that. By comparison, my wife's Honda probably runs that. I don't know. Anyways, so to get to the track and be comfortable and know I'm going to pass tech, I've done work on this car. We've got rear shocks have been taken care of, rear spring shackles, car's tuned up, runs pretty right. It'll go. I don't beat on it much, but so what other things do I want to do? Well, the front brakes have been an issue with this car in as that one of the drums was way around. It has one replacement drum, one stock drum, and if you adjust the brakes down, it just shutters the front end. So I've had to loosen the brakes up. Well, I don't want to be at the drag strip and be in that condition. Number two, you can't hold it, foot brake it very well. If the front brakes aren't going to hold, it's just going to slide through and give you a red light. So we got to do something about that. So I'm kind of ahead of it a little bit because I started doing the work on it before I thought about how I was going to make this into a video. But so I'll bring you up to speed on everything here, and then how we're going to go about getting this thing ready to go to the drags. Okay, so I've had these spindles off, repacked the wheel bearings, cleaned everything up, checked the seals. You could always replace wheel bearings, I guess, but it's hard to get good ones, and these seem to be just fine, so I just clean them up. But here's the real kicker there. You can see that the wheel studs are knurled, I guess, straight knurl, and the knurl sticks out of the hub. And what happens is that if you put aftermarket wheels and tires on, sometimes the bore of the wheel will jam onto these splines. And that was the case with this car. So when I bought it, it had these inexpensive appliance style steel wheels that were chromed. And I think that what happened was that the previous owners or whoever put them on, they ran the lug nut down because it took a standard conical lug nut. They ran it down and it made contact with the shoulder of the serration here. And what happened is it splayed it out or mushroomed it out. So the drum was so stuck on there. I'll show you what happened. So this is a stock drum. It's got the spring on it, which kind of deadens vibration and noise. The new drums probably won't have that, but what I did on this one is I just kind of opened up the wheel studs, and being that this is sacrificial, it's going to get thrown away. I just wanted to check and see if I just open these up a little bit, these 5 holes, if they would slide on over that spline and not give me further issues. The wheel, when you cinch down the wheel, that will clamp it so to the spindle mount. So what you do is just kind of like torque it in the direction that the brakes typically run, and so the stud is up against one side, and the wheel will clamp it down to the stud. So I'm not worried about that. I just wanted to make sure that it in fact located off of this diameter here, so we know that we're running true. So when the new drums come, that's what I'm going to probably do is open them up a little bit so they don't stick on that serration on the wheel studs. The other thing I'm going to do while I've got it, the wheels and tires off, is this boot is non-existent. So we're going to knock that apart and get a new boot in there so that thing will hold grease. We have no idea what these shocks are in here, so I just called Summit and ordered some Calvert 9010s. Those will go in before we go up to the track. So we'll have those things kind of squared away. Another issue on this car is cooling. Believe it or not, it runs cool when you're cruising around town. Does not overheat, but it really freaks you out on the temp gauge because it'll go 220, 230 sometimes, according to the temp gauge. And I question the accuracy because I shoot it with a laser and it shows about 190 at the radiator. So I'm not sure what's going on here, but I do know this. I think this is a 2-pass radiator, and I'm gonna at least upgrade it to a 3-pass. A 4-pass radiator, sometimes you hurt yourself because with that many cores, it's harder to get air through there, so you might shoot yourself in the foot as far as cooling. But I'm not sure if I'm going to go aluminum. But now, as far as taking it to the US 131, I don't think I'm going to have issues overheating unless we sit in idle for a long period of time in the staging lanes. But I don't think it's going to be an issue. You always wind up on a Friday night at TNT up there, you always wind up an hour and a half between passes anyway. So, you know, for that money, you're only going to get 2, maybe 3 passes if you're aggressive and kind of wiggle snake through the staging lanes. But this car, though, when you drive it on the highway, like if you run 60 mile an hour on a 2-lane for a period of time, it actually picks up heat, which tells me that probably the radiator just isn't capable of keeping up with this 383. And you know, this 383 is kind of tuned. I run, I think I'm running total 30 degrees total advance. And right now, because they've changed fuel, I was starting to get a little spark knock off this vacuum secondary distributor. And I think the reason why is because I had it advanced, which gives it a little bit more low-end torque. So they've changed the fuel formulation, put in more alcohol, and they're starting to, like, if you go up a fairly steep hill in 3rd gear, it'll spark knock. So I cured that by retarding the vacuum advance. But I'm going to have to put some better fuel in it to go to the racetrack, and then I can re-advance this and get my low-end torque back for launching. So that's about the only change I'm going to make to go to the track, is just stick my hex key in there and crank it out 5 turns or so and go for it. And just there's race fuel available at the track, so we can just put some better fuel in it. Back in the day, you were able to pull up to Sunoco and get 100 octane. They had way better fuel back in the day, I guess is what I'm saying. So that's the plan there, and next step is put everything back together and then adjust the brakes. So while we're waiting for parts to arrive, we'll get these shocks out and get things disassembled and ready to clean up and put back together again. Sometimes you get lucky and the top nut will come right off. There's a square on the end that you can put a wrench on and hold that stud in place if the nut's rusty. Looks like we're gonna get lucky here on this side. washer. And when I get the bottom off, that'll push right out. Now go do the other side. Let's get the bottom shock bolt out. Lock washer. Bolt is out. What do you think? I don't know. I guess it's not terrible bad, but they're pretty inexpensive gas shocks. Premium gas, though. I don't know. We're gonna put some good Calvert 9010s in the front. These are the bolts that came out of the bottom of the shock. You see the rubber's kind of wore, and this bolt here is almost long enough. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go get some new bolts. What I want is I want this shoulder to go all the way through and stick out the other side, and that way the shock is not, and the shock the bracket is not rubbing on threads. And see, what those threads do is they grind your bores in your mounting brackets, and if they're inside the shock, as they work around, they chew up the inside of the shock. The other thing I'm going to do is use self-locking nuts, and the reason why is because you want the shock absorber to move. So I always use a self-locker, and then don't torque the nut, you know, very tight against the outer bracket that the shock mounts in. So that way this shock absorber is not pinched and it's free to move around. And that's how you get your suspension movement on the front end of the car or the back end of the car. It's just something that I usually do with all my suspension components, because we kind of want them to move around and not be pinched and bound up. While I'm in here, I'm going to scrape this buildup rust and dirt off this upper A-arm and just kind of blow a light coat of paint on it to kind of stop rust and clean it up and kind of make it look decent. You can see here I've already done the driver's side. Not anything really super fancy, but just kind of cleans it up and digs the dirt out. Scott Hance, the world famous stock car driver, will say it takes 100 pennies to make $1, and what he means is oh, I probably got a dustpan full of dirt and flaky rust and stuff out of all this. Probably weighed a good pound. So every time you do that on this car, we're taking pounds of weight off the car. Well, here's my measly selection of 7/16 nuts and bolts. So I have washers and I have the self-locking nuts, but I'm gonna have to run to Rural King and pick up some longer bolts. I'll probably get 2 different lengths and then just stick them in the lathe and cut the threads off that I don't need. Make some real shock bolts. Well, Summit came through less than 24 hours. Here's my shocks. So we'll get those put in, and here's the boot to replace that tore up boot on the tie rod end. So I'll get started installing it. We'll get the shock down in there. Get into position. And it's a little bit tight. Do is put a little grease on the. I already greased the bolt, shoulder of the bolt. It's going in there too tight. So we're gonna have to do some adjusting. Either the bracket is pinched too tight, or we got a little too much material here. So I don't want to have to fight that shock that hard to get the bolt lined up. All right, with a little bit of persuasion, I got the bolt through. So what I did is I just used a longer bolt that had a fair amount of lead on it and kind of worked it in there, and I used a drift to kind of get it lined up. So washer's on, and put the self-locker on. Oops, if I can get it started. There we go. So just tighten it up. So next thing to do is get that upper piston up into the hole there in the fender. And get that centered up. And then go put the top on. There you can see that's where the piston from the shock mounts, and so far I got it finger tight. We'll just tighten it up a little bit. You don't need to squish them down terribly bad. I like to just squish them until they're just kind of bulging out even with this metal keeper. So it looks about like that. You can see that the rubber there is squished in place. There's I'm getting good torque now on the nut, and that's the way that we'll leave that. So 9010's installed. Next thing is to replace that boot on the tie rod end. Okay, so that tore up boot's replaced. So now when I grease this thing, it'll hold grease. So that's done. So on this side of the car, the next thing is the brake drums, and I ordered those from O'Reilly's, and we'll be making a trip over there to pick up the drums. They should be in today. So now I have to go do the other side. Okay, new brake drums got here this morning. I ordered them from O'Reilly's.
Took them 4 days, but it was only 14 bucks for shipping. So I painted them with red caliper paint after I primered them. I fit them to make sure that they fit on the car okay, and I've also designated one left and one right, so we can always put them back on the same way. Also, there's a couple of prick punch marks right there that tell me which wheel stud that I'm going to line up with, and I put a prick punch mark, say that fast 3 times, on the spindle so I can always line it up the same way. So I put them on and then kind of indicated them in to make sure that they were running as true as I could get them. So should be quite a bit better. Plus I know now I got decent new drums that haven't been hobble-cobbled up. So it's a nice bright sunny day, and the paint cures out really nice, flows really good. These are casts, so they've got kind of a rough texture, but and I also branded them my brand. Somebody will notice. Little detail. They're bimbo brakes. Somebody will get it someday. All right, wheels and tires are back on, drums are back on. Let me tell you though, Chrysler's wheel studs are short, and it makes it real hard to get those Krager lug nuts started because they come out just kind of flush with the end of this portion right here. So it makes it hard to get started. So you have to kind of put something up there to hold it centered up. Of course, these are direct fit, so it makes it a little bit of a challenge. They're all torqued. I adjusted them up to where that they both feel about the same. So I guess the next thing to do is to kind of road test it and see how these shocks feel, see how the brakes feel. Well, let's give her a little brake test, see what she does. Look at that. Nice and straight. They feel a little bit more grabby. Okay, so after getting a heating and cooling cycle and going out and landing on the brakes a few times, just jack the car up and just kind of make sure that we're not dragging. This one is pretty good. This side, I think I need to take a couple, back it up a couple notches. These are self-adjusting, so this may be what they do is they just adjust to be about this tight. But the main thing is didn't want to take it up to the drags and have the brakes dragging, and we've gotten rid of that out around drum condition that was forcing me to not be able to have the brakes adjusted up very tight. So I think we're ready to go up to the drags with it, maybe next Friday. If you enjoyed the video, click that like button, and if you're not a subscriber, please, does my channel a lot of good to get subscribers and justification for doing this kind of stuff. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.